3, 2, 1, bro.
We've done so many of these at this point.
So many. Everyone get, oh, you did it. It's the intro backward. Probably no one noticed me. Yes, it is.
I don't even have those.
Go back and watch the intro. It's been playing in reverse this whole
But the sound
time.
is forward.
Whoa. How'd they do it? How did they ever find the technology?
So we were going through the...
There's a man with a cigarette running the thing backward, and I filmed that, and that turned into this.
So we're going through the best games of the decade, or at least the biggest well-known games of the decade. We're all the way up to 2017 now. This is when we started doing board game stuff, was 2017,
This was
wasn't
the
it?
beginning
Yeah.
of the professional, like, this was the
Started in
we didn't know at
April.
the time.
Yeah.
We had no idea at the time what we were getting into.
Yeah, but this was the start
Here we
of
are,
board
100,000
game
subscribers
content creation
later.
by these two butts.
Yeah.
These two bang bongs right here. So 2017 was a good year. We got a lot to get through, so let's go ahead and go through it. So what did we choose for our favorite games of the year?
My favorite was Rajas of the Ganges.
Yeah.
Rajas
We
of the
just
Ganges,
got
so
the
good.
little goodie box expansion
Very
for
excited.
it. I'm very excited. Mine was Wendake. Wendake
Good pick.
2017, great game. Very underrated Renegade game. Go check it out.
Absolutely. So there's many more games, including the #1 ranked game of all damn time.
And Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven came out 2017, and it did okay. I am so curious. Put down in the comments, what do you think the next... He's coming out Frosthaven this year, the Kickstarter.
Yeah, the next
what is it
Gloomhaven
going to
is money-wise?
Yeah. What do you think it's going to do?
I've heard predictions that it and Dark Tower are both going to go north of 5 million.
I think Frosthaven will hit 8.
You heard it here, folks.
I'm just going to go for it.
Put in the comments what we think Frosthaven is
Or
going
maybe
to do.
someone's
It's
like,
going to be
business.
business.
I don't need more Gloomhaven. I don't know.
But at the same time, probably you do.
I think it's going to go 8.
Anyway.
I'm probably wrong.
What else did come out? What else came out in
Spirit
2017?
Island came out this year, which is a
Very
very
hard.
hard, big, heavy, crunchy co-op. Really fun game, a game that like we would have to play. We don't play it very often at all because it's like I feel like we always have to relearn it every single time.
A little bit, yeah.
It's a little tough to get. There's a big learning curve, but it is very,
very cool
fun.
game.
This is a year for a lot of big Kickstarters.
It was a big one.
Because
So
the
Seventh
next one-
Continent came out. There's 2 huge campaign games, both very highly ranked.
Yeah, Seventh Continent's so good.
This one's all about mystery, and you're flipping over cards and exploring this continent and trying to figure out what happened. And it's just,
Yeah, I really
it's
like
a
Seventh
big
Continent.
exploration game.
Azul came out this year.
The
This
beginning,
is
man.
The beginning of the
Azul.
Azul craze. Yeah, I know Plan B Games, who I think is who makes it, came to Essen, and they had like 2,000 copies, which was like, I remember people saying like,
Like,
wow,
hold your
you are
horses, big
really
business.
confident. Because again, like a lot of board games, if they sell 5,000 copies total, it's considered like a success. Not like a mega hit,
it's like, oh,
but it's considered
great,
like, okay, that's a
great,
success.
good job.
And they brought 2,000 copies just to Essen, and it sold out like that.
How do they
Azul did
know?
good.
How do they
I
know?
don't know. Azul did good though.
Another big one starts with an A is Anachrony.
Yeah.
Anachrony is a big old worker placement in the future, kind of before and
travel-y
after
game.
an apocalypse and thing. It's very tight, crunchy, heavy, big. You're time traveling and getting resources from the future, then you have to pay it off in the past, and
It's confusing.
it's confusing, y'all.
It's fun.
It's a wild one, but it is one that I'm still always like,
Yeah, I always feel like I don't appreciate it as much as I should. Lisboa is also a big game, a Vita Lacerda game
big
that came
fat
out.
game.
Lisboa's it's fun. I like we've played
liked
it.
it.
I liked Lisboa a lot. It's one of those games like we were talking about this the other day. Big Vita Lacerda games. I don't know if I ever need to own any of them.
But we have friends that do.
We do have friends that do, which is great. But Lisboa is a great game. Got cool tool art as well.
Yeah.
Plank in space came out.
A lot of people prefer it over Clank because
They
it gives you a slightly modular board, which is cool, and it also reworks some of the treasure. So all the treasure, you have to get a decent way into the
Yeah, you can't
spaceship
smash and
before you can
grab.
get treasure. And I do think those are better. But for
I don't
whatever
mind- I don't
reason,
mind it.
we're deep enough into regular Clank that I'm like, we're here now.
Yeah.
Regular
So
Clank seems a little bit easier to for me to understand where and where I cannot go.
yeah.
So,
It was great. Clank Space is great. I personally prefer normal Clank better, and we have like 4 or 5 maps for it at this point. So we're like, we don't need another.
We're in it now.
Dinosaur Island came out this
a
year.
big
That was
year,
a big.
dude.
It's a big year. A lot of big Kickstarters.
Big
It's a
Kickstarters.
great big worker placement game. Essentially Jurassic Park, kind of in a box where you are running a theme park with dinosaurs, and they can break out and stuff. And we've kind of blinged out our game. One, we got like the Kickstarter, so we have like the kind of blinged out version from there. But then we 3D printed our own 3D paddocks for it, because you have paddocks to hold the dinosaurs, and we 3D printed some. There'll be a description up above us here to go watch the video where we talk about that. But it makes the game very big and very cool. But ultimately, it's a very fun, really, really great game that is just, it takes a lot of space.
Yes, it does.
It's a big table.
Another one that came out is a 2-player version of Codenames. So it's the
Codenames
same
do
thing
it.
that Codenames did, but you are working together. You have the same set of cards in between you, and you have a couple of the words or words that you're both trying to get your partner to guess, and there's some that are not. And it just adds like a cool level of puzzliness and challenge. For whatever reason, it just works super duper well as a 2-player cooperative game. Codenames Duet's like probably my favorite Codenames.
It's
like,
my
I think
favorite
it's
Codenames by
so
far,
fun that way. Yeah.
Near Far came out this year. This is another big Kickstarter, and this is a campaign kind of version of. Well, it's not a version. It's a version of Above and Below.
It's in the same world.
It's in the same world, and it's a storytelling game like Above and Below. But whereas Above and Below's story was always just random, Near Far's story is cohesive, because you're throughout the game going on different maps, and each game is a different map, and you're going around different spots on the map, and you go down here to like the underground cabin spot, which is where you meet all like the Glogos, who are like the underground people. You're like, oh, this makes sense because I'm in the underground part of the map. This makes sense. You're out on the sea, and they're like, oh, and then you see some pirates, and it's like, that makes sense. I'm out on the sea. Whereas before it was always just random, which I love Above and Below, but Near and Far took that concept.
So it's one big kind of story.
Turned it up to 11 and then made it great. And then with the Amber Mines expansion, you can make it co-op and it's even funner.
Super cool.
And then was it Sleeping Gods? Is that the next one?
Yep.
That's like the next kind of one in this storytelling
even,
big
further
games.
in the direction they've been
and that
sort
one
of heading.
seems even cooler.
I'm really excited for that. Really want that. Sagrada came out. Talking about beautiful games, super high production value in a game that's pretty smart. You get to kill people in it. It's great.
Yeah, the fight between Azul and Sagrada. They both came out at a similar time. Everyone's like, pretty abstract game. Which one is better?
Yeah,
They're
it was
not
a
at
weird
all
year.
alike.
No, but everyone's just like, it was like,
only have
that
one
was the
pretty
first time
abstract
that
game.
personally I saw like one of those, like, there's two games that kind of fill a similar niche. Which one's better? And I was like, what? And now it happens all the time.
Nah, it happens all the time.
But Sagrada is super pretty. You're rolling out dice trying to fill the stained glass. You're using the color of the dice to make your literal stained glass window. One of the most creative, beautiful ideas in a board game I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and it's a
ultimately
fairly
abstract dice
accessible
placement game. It's great.
Yeah, super cool.
Quest for El Dorado came out this year. This is a game we played a couple years after the fact, I feel like.
And probably in 2018 we played.
Yeah, I guess it's not a couple years after the fact. It feels older than it is, but it's a Reiner Knizia game actually by Ravensburger. And it's a racing deck building game, and it's a really, really great intro deck builder game.
Yep.
Because the deck building's pretty small, but essentially you have these cards, and these cards will either be like a money card, which will allow you to move through markets, like a card allows you to move through jungle, and then a paddle,
water.
which allows you to move through water. And since you're playing these cards, trying to get from the start up to El Dorado.
Right.
And it's tough because there's different, if you get deeper and deeper into the jungle, it's harder and harder to get through those parts, so it goes slower.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is you have these big giant hexes that are the land terrain, and you can set them up in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, it's just random.
Yeah, and it's like, and
Or
it's
you can follow like little pre-built.
totally, and so you can find totally new ways to play the game just because the map is different.
So awesome.
And it's just a very, very fun racing game. Quest for El Dorado really was a big surprise for me. Really big surprise when we played it.
I love that game. A little deck builder-y-ish. Ethnos is what I'm talking about by Simon. It's an area control set collection, set playing game. I don't really know how to describe
Set
what you're doing with
collection,
the
I
cards.
guess, is what it
Because you're
is,
playing
yeah.
out ultimately sets of cards, either I think colors or type of creature or something like that. There's two different ways you can play them, and that'll allow you to kind of influence different areas and put out little these little stackable tokens and stuff. You're trying to have the most influence in certain areas to score points and stuff. And it's just a fascinating thing because there's a bunch of different kind of factions, and you can kind of cherry pick which ones you play with or whatever. But the combination of the different types of factions and the abilities they have can change the game in really cool
it's
ways. It was a
pretty
very
interesting.
I was very pleased, and it's just pretty easy. A lot of times you're just like picking up a card and
It's an interesting and honestly ultimately pretty simple game, but it's a good game. Altiplano came out this year. This is kind of like the spiritual successor to Orleans in terms
Yeah, a lot
of
of
bag
overlap,
builder kind of game. We both like Orleans better. I like Altiplano as well.
I want to play it again.
I want to play it again.
Yeah.
I really don't like the movement mechanic in Altiplano, and that kind of soured it for me a little bit. But ultimately, Altiplano's a great game. I just personally like. There's so much content for Orleans as well.
I know. Another game I quite liked, but I'm not sure if I liked it as much as I did. It's always too expensive. Is Heaven and Ale.
Yeah.
It's a cool game that's like really hard and kind of
yeah.
brutal. And I really want to play it again because I really want to finally make up my mind about what I think.
Yeah,
about it.
I thought it was fine, but you liked it more than me for sure. Barren Park came out this year. This is a game we just now got the expansion for a couple days ago. I'm very excited. Simple polygonal tile game that just is Phil Walker Harding praise be.
Praise be.
And it's just like this game goes over well.
Yes, you're right. Everyone and same with us. The first time we played it was at this convention tournament type thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it went down. Yeah, it went down really well. We're like, oh, and then ever since we've been teaching it, other people who have that expand that was
everyone's like,
I made it
cool.
zoo.
Yeah,
and we mean that in a beautiful way. It's just solid. Yeah, it's good, man.
Great game. It's stupid good. The Godfather Corleone's Empire. This is the Eric Lang Simon game that I had so zero interest in.
Yeah.
And then we played it and I was
really
like,
liked it.
That's actually really fun. Yeah, this
well,
game for some reason, I was like, why is this a minis game? And I kind of still feel that way. It's in a giant Simon box. I'm kind of like, why?
At least the minis, they have circular and square bottoms and they do matter what they are. So
yes.
Okay, at least there's...
Okay. It's a Simon product. They put big minis in it. Well, not huge minis. It's not like Rising Sun.
It's pretty tame for Simon.
Yeah, but nonetheless, it is actually quite a good game. I was very surprised.
Another game came out is Dice Forge. These where you can customize your die by pulling the faces off a dice builder game. You're putting on different faces to customize your dice and rolling them out to get resources and buy stuff. It's a really simple game ultimately.
Yeah, it's very fun.
The expansion is really nice. And we got a copy a long time ago that never had all its bits in it, and we finally got rid of it.
But nonetheless, it is a very good game.
We tried Asmodee, we tried reaching out. We tried
twice.
You failed us, but it's fine.
Photosynthesis came out. This game I feel like really kind of hit hard because of the fact that it was just such a different theme. The game, you're all trees. You're not growing trees. You are just you are trees.
You are the trees.
And it's an area control game that is super mean and cutthroat and hard.
But
nature. But nature is that way, man. Trees don't give a F about other trees. They're just like, I'm trying to grow to the sun and I don't care about nothing else. And so it is, and it's got great 3D trees, table presence out the wazoo. It's ultimately relatively cheap for what it is. And it's a great game with the best player board in the planet.
That's real good.
And it's great, and everyone's just like, whoa. And it goes to show, choose new and interesting themes. They don't have to be sexy themes.
No.
They can be anything other than what we're normally used to, and people will go wild over it.
Photosynthesis is a game where you watch the grass grow, man.
Yeah, literally.
It's great.
And it's like, people
so good.
Love it. So choose new themes. We don't need more Vikings.
New themes.
Then we got some restoration. This game did not come out, but
no. But I was starting to think.
Around
speaking of this game, is sometimes games deserve another turn.
Around this time is when we were starting to feel that.
I was starting to think God, games really do deserve another turn. Yeah. I wish some games would come back better than ever before. Yeah. We're talking about Restoration Games, our sponsor. Happily have you. Thank you very much. Restoration Games hit the scene this year. 2017, they had a trio of games. They had Indulgence, Downforce, and Stop Thief all came out this year.
All bangers.
They said by the way, we're here now. Here's a bajillion games for you.
Here's 3. I mean, Indulgence is a great trick-taking game. Stop Thief, a great, now for the most part, people play co-op game where you're trying to find robbers and it's run through an app.
Audio clues.
And then Downforce is my favorite racing game. Is it yours?
Yeah. I love it. It's fun. It plays up to 6. It plays it quick, fast, and dirty. There's a bunch of maps for it. Yeah. So
the new maps are really fun. Too.
Restoration Games hit the scene in 2017 in a big bad way.
Crushing it.
And then next year.
Thanks for the sponsorship. This is also the year we got sponsored by you. Thanks for the sponsorship.
Anyway.
Fox in the Forest, talking about trick taking. This is a 2-player trick taking game by Foxtrot Games and by Renegade Games.
Yep.
And 2-player trick taking. Hard to do, but man, is this a great little game.
I know.
Great little game.
I want to play the co-op version of it now.
I know. There's like
how does
Fox
that work?
Whatever it's called now. But yeah, it's like a co-op version.
Fox Duel, Adam.
Queen Domino, the successor to King Domino.
I know, which someone said no love for King Domino. I think maybe we had it on a list and forgot.
We must have forgotten to mention because it was on our list. I like King Domino more than
Queen.
Yeah.
Queen Domino.
Yeah, Queen Domino is also great. Magic Maze came out this year. which is a fun co-op,
real-time-
real-time game
Wacky game.
that is hard to get to the table because it's just so crazy. Although we just played the new version of the one
on Magic Maze on Mars
it's
or
on
Magic
the Vita
Mars.
Lacerda version.
Yeah.
And that was really fun.
It's very cool.
Really fun.
The space version was interesting, and it made it. I feel like everyone was more crucial to the process, and it was really interesting. You're moving resources around instead of people so much. It was like very cool. Very good improvement on Magic Maze.
Yeah.
Yamatai came out. Bruno Catala's
One of the
super
prettiest
duper pretty game.
Yeah, one of the pretty. Jeremy
play it again.
Fleury, I believe, did the art. He did the art for like Histrio.
Yes.
Yeah, Jeremy
So
Fleury's
pretty.
art is. I don't know how he gets such vibrant art.
Yeah.
It's so
The color is
vibrant,
so colorful.
Rich. Yeah, it's so saturated, and it just. Oh, such a good artist. And Yamatai's also a Bruno Catala's game. Days of Wonder.
We need to play it
Great
again, to be
game.
honest, but it's got
Yeah.
presence out the wazoo. So good.
Dragon Castle. This was the year of pretty abstract games. Dragon Castle is kind of like a mahjong-like inspired game that is just got these big chunky tiles. It's also by Simon.
Yeah, really
and just
tactically
really
satisfying.
fun game that's great at all player counts because it has different setups depending on the player counts. Not to mention there's just a ton of different setups. There's
Or you
like
could do your own even,
there's
in
like
theory.
4 or 5 for 2 player, 4 or 5 for 3 player, 4 or 5 for 4 player. Really great game that again people are like this abstract games can be pretty because it's gorgeous and it's amazing. Dragon Castle is great.
Another game that came out we absolutely loved
So
is
good.
Ex Libris. It's a worker placement game
Went under the radar.
in kind of a small way. It did, like, you know, not every game. I
think
blame
it
Renegade,
got-
dude. Renegade buries their own games. I think this is an example of that.
I think the problem with Renegade, it's not necessarily the problem. They come out with so many games. It's hard to continually support them
Yeah.
as
You
much as
gotta
they do
talk
something
about the
like
new thing.
Clank. So that's the problem. You have so many, like Wendake was my favorite game of this year, and it's like that game's gone so under the radar because they have so many games that come out. And honestly,
'Cause they're distributing
Renegade
so many
has
other
so many
companies'
great
games and
games
stuff.
that just so many great games just get kind of under the radar.
Yeah.
And this is one. And this one, the print on all the cards
It's a
is
little
so
small and
that I
annoying.
think it kind of got a bad rap, despite the fact that it's a really good game.
It has a play rate, a little booklet you can make, but I think people. It's a cool thing because you can make like a little book for yourself.
by
Because
the way,
you're
you're
making
running a
a
fantasy
mythical
library.
library,
Yeah.
a fantasy
Sorry,
library.
we
So
didn't
it's
talk
very in theme, but you got to kind of craft it. Not everyone wants to craft. We've never
Yeah.
built them.
Well,
Well, it's a fantastic game
and
because
it's a
you do get to
really,
build.
really good solo game.
A really good solo game. It's a hard game because
Yeah.
you're building this mythical library and you have to order your books alphabetically and stuff. It's just a really cool game.
Yeah.
With little mini variable player powers and stuff. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Tiny Epic Quest came out. This is our favorite of the Tiny Epic games. It's
I like it. It's
a
fun.
big game as well, which is kind of surprising. Tiny Epic Quest is a great game.
Some space.
My Little Scythe came out this year.
Yeah.
Great version.
Scythe had come out the
we
year
have
before.
it. It's great.
Yeah. Beautiful, cute. I was just talking about it last night. It's just like, just charming. Just very
charm
charming.
up the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I don't care if we don't, we're not kidding. We're going to get it. I
Great.
want it.
It's great. Wasteland Express Delivery Service.
yeah.
Such a good game.
Pick 'em and deliver game in the apocalypse where you're driving around kind of like Mad Max
Yeah.
buses and stuff. And you're getting like guns and water around to places. And it's just like cool. And you're doing these like
fun.
little specific quests.
It's
Excuse
only
me. And
just
it was,
Pick 'em Deliver.
Yeah, it's a pick up and deliver game that was super duper cool. It was one that we like had tried to play forever and just never got to the table. We don't own it, but like at cons and stuff. And then finally got to play it, and I was like, man, I'm glad that after all that time, that was a good game. I want
Yeah,
to play that
I know.
again because it
It
could have
kinda-
been all this time. You're like, yeah, no.
It could have been. And it's fun.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun.
Super good.
Mintworks came out this year. This
Yeah.
is a great little worker placement game in a little tin, a little mint tin. And again, great worker placement
little
game.
worker placement mints.
That's a good intro to worker placement games.
Yeah.
Little mint tin carried around together. Now there's 3 or 4 of these mint games
Yeah,
now. And they're
so
great.
cool. I love it. Hentais came out, which
This
is
year,
like
wow.
just
How do you describe Hentai?
super Euro-y. Just
Super
you
fun.
get cards and
That's how you
things,
describe
and
it.
it's just great fun. Just play it.
Yeah,
It's
really good
It's a
game.
cool game. Really cool game.
Really good game. Kitchen Rush came out this year. This is like our probably most popular game for us to play on stream. We stream live
Yeah.
on twitch.tv/BrosMurph.
You can watch it now.
Because it's like if you ever played the game Overcooked, the video game, it's like that, but a board game. Real-time, cooperative, worker placement game.
Get the food
Yeah,
out
where
to
your
the
workers
customers.
are timers, and you have to flip them over so the sand goes down. You can't move that person until all the sand is out. So it's just constant switching, and it's very, very fun.
Make the French fries!
them now.
Meeple Circus is a fun little dexterity game with the circus themes. You have like little animals and like a little weightlifter guy and
Yeah.
things, and you have different challenges. Kind of It made me think of Junk Art, which we talked about in the last
Yeah.
one, where it's just like fun little mini games, cute game,
Great
really
little
good
game.
time.
Yeah. Where Words came out. This is one of my favorite social deduction game.
So good. It's 20 questions with a trader.
Yeah, 20 Question Trader or Insider, which is by Oink Games. It's ultimately like the same game.
Borrowed a little bit.
Yeah, but Where Words is great. Again, 20 questions with a trader. And again, it's kind of like we talked about Deception Word in Hong Kong. When you're the trader, because you know what the word is and you're trying to derail the conversation from getting to the word, because you know what the word is, you have information to go off of. And it's easier for you to deflect the fact that you're the trader. It's still hard to be the trader, but you have a chance, and it's very fun.
Indeed. Herbaceous came out.
This is a new banger for us.
New to us and loving it right now. It's one of my ladies' favorite games.
Our brother and sister this, and they loved it.
It's a set collection game that has a really just interesting thing where you're drawing 2 cards on your turn, and one will go into your personal garden, one will go into a community garden.
Yeah.
And whatever you choose first, the other one has to go in the other location. Yeah. And so you're trying to put together sets there's like 4 different scoring opportunities. One of them you want as many of the same type of herb. One you want all the different types of herbs, pairs and things, and you're trying to choose your scoring opportunities, but there's more and more stuff in this community garden. So you're always pushed into like, I'm gonna wait one more round.
Because when you're potting these plants, you can pot them you can prop them from your private garden and from the community garden. So the thing is, if there's like 3 saffron out there, you're like, and I have 1 saffron, I'm like, that's 4 saffron. I can put it in my pot now, because once you put something in the pot, you can't ever add to it
my
again.
turn 2 more saffron came out?
And you're like, that'd be way more points. But then our sister goes like, I'm gonna take the saffron, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I just gave up like 10, 12 points, and it's very
great.
hard.
Just really fun, simple, but like just you get a lot of like push your luck almost.
Lastly, the games that we have played and loved for the most part is Chimera Station, which is we just did an in focus for it for BGG. It's a incredible worker placement, worker builder game. Super weird. You're building your workers, little workers, and you put different body parts on. The different body parts do different things. And it's such a weird, cool gimmick that is integrated into the mechanics. So it's not just a gimmick, and it's incredible. I love Chimera
Super
Station.
duper cool.
All right.
A couple other games really quickly that came out. Gaia Project.
Yeah, the Terramax in space.
TI4, Space in Space the 4th time.
Have played it. It's fun.
Pandemic Legacy Season 2 came out, which is a continuation from Season 1 that I hope to get to someday.
Yeah, someday. Kenzi Caledonia came out. I don't know much about it. I know it's from Clemens Franz
did the art. And,
I've heard pretty good things. Too Many Bones. This is a big chip theory game. Is it Too Many Bones? Yeah, it is, right? Yeah. We played a teeny bit of Cloud Spire when we did an in focus for BGG for it, but not very much. Haven't played any other chip theory games, but lots of poker chips.
This War of Mine, which is sort of like I think like The Road as a board game.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Apocalypse like very hard and heavy and like, but yeah, it makes you think of like this is how this would really have to go. And it's not very happy.
Pulsar 2849 came out. This is a CGE game that we actually have. We got gifted it not too long ago. We haven't had a chance to play it, but I want to because we like CGE games generally.
Century Spice Road and Golem Edition came out, which is
also
kind of like
took the world by storm.
Splendor killer, Splendory thing where you're sort of you're putting stuff out and you're getting things to get other spices and you're trading spices around. So sort of pace it on, but everyone loved it.
Santa Maria came out, which, did you end up playing Santa Maria?
No,
I played it once. It was okay.
Hey, man, let's colonize the Caribbean.
Yeah, exactly.
Sword and Sworcery came out.
This is by Ares Games, who made War of the Ring and stuff like that. It's a big dungeon crawler, I think, and some people really love it. It's massive, though. It's one
Bunny
of those games
Kingdom came out from Yellow Games.
Which is surprisingly good.
Surprisingly good, and there's like a grid, and you're putting bunnies out, and I didn't do very well, but I had a lot of rabbits, and it was cool.
It was fun. Nemos War, which is now it's not just a solo game, but it was a big solo game that was only solo, which is cool. There's more and more of that coming out. Haven't played it. Don't know if we're ever going to get it played.
We're trying. But it's over there.
Nemos War is, I've heard it's good. Fjord came out. That was the next Uwe game. Kind of went under the radar.
Uwe game that kind of didn't. Okay. Yeah, like it was...
Not all those games have been like Caverna-sized, So.
Right, but it seems like it
the
has
Glass
the
Road
DNA
area. People like it, but it's not huge. Yeah.
Sid Meier's Civilization: A New Dawn came out, which is like the first kind of I think board game Civ game in a while, and people seem to really like it and stuff. I really want to try it.
And then lastly, 5 Minute Dungeon came out, which again
I played like a couple rounds of. It was cool.
Yeah, you played a little bit. It was fun.
I think there's like a Marvel version now.
Yeah,
which seems fun.
Yeah, and so those are games that came out in 2017. I'm sure we missed some. Put down in the comments below which games we missed, which ones you love, which ones you didn't like. Just put it down in the comments below. There's so many. This one, it's like, man, there's just so many of these coming. Like 2017,
dude.
We were making board game content. We were full board in it at this point.
Now, man.
Yeah, so that is our list for 2017. Overall, great games. They just keep getting, each year keeps getting better and better and better.
That's great.
So make sure to go watch all the other years if you haven't already. Make sure to watch our top 10 games of the decade to see our favorite games from each year from the decade. And I think that's it, right?
That's it for us, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Put your favorite games from 2017 in the comments below, as Nick said, and we'll see you in 2018.
Boom.